Hey guys, so today I want to do a quick little gaming comparison here with my iPhone 5 on iOS 7, the latest beta, versus my, let's see over here, a bit smaller, versus my Galaxy S4 here with the stock version of Android. I have 4 games here. I couldn't actually install more games on the S4 just because the storage is a little bit low. And yes, you can have SD card inside of the S4, but you can't install games over there. Some games, yes, you can transfer them to the SD card, but most games you can't do that. So that do kind of sucks. You can't install super many high-end games and have them running at the same time. I do know there should be like a 32GB variant of the S4, or 32GB variant also available. But I don't think that many stores is selling that variant. But let's say just try it out here on a few games. With games like Need for Speed Most Wanted. Here we go. A little quicker here on the iPhone. Quick, small little lag there in the beginning, but now it runs super smooth here. The only main complaint I can have here on the iPhone, of course, is the tiny display, which I'm really not used to. And also the iPhone is a little bit feels a little bit thicker. But of course, just because it's 2 high-end phones at the moment, you shouldn't have any problems because this is the latest high-end phones, and this is the latest high-end games as well. Let's check it out now. I do like the S4 here because it has more of like a rounded off design on the sides, and the display is so much bigger. 5 inches instead of a 4-inch display. I kind of feel that the performance is a little bit lower here in terms of frames. It's not like it's lagging here on the S4, but you can definitely see that the performance could be a little bit better. So I really do hope that we'll see that more in the future on Android phones, like better optimizations of games. Because on this phone costs as much as an iPhone, so you should kind of get the same kind of performance. But then of course it could be hard for the game developers to optimize games for all of the phones out there when they have different GPUs and CPUs and all those things. While in the Apple world, developers have a little bit of an easier time with that. So now let's just check out another game. So definitely the winner there in the first game was definitely the iPhone. But then of course, bigger display. I would prefer the S4. Let's try out Asphalt 7. So I'm already inside of a game here. Perfect. So do we have problems here? Yes, it seems like on Android 4.3 here that Asphalt 7 problems. Okay, so I can quickly show it off here on the iPhone. This is probably the game in the iOS world that has the most stable and highest FPS in average. Feels like 50 stable FPS. Which is really nice. Oh no. If you would run the stock version, or just if you would have TouchWiz on your Galaxy S4, you probably won't have any issues or anything to play this game, but just because I'm running stock version there of Android 4.3, seems like I'm having some issues here loading up that game. Wow, it's really dark here. You see here, going in the waters. And it will be really fun to see what's going to come up in the new iPhone. If it's going to be a 4.3-inch display, if it's going to bump up a little bit from 4-inch. Because phones are now becoming so good that they are, really good. But then of course not everyone can afford the latest and greatest all the time. Try to use the booster here. You can see that the FPS still is stable when you're using things like so. Okay, so let's just try out now real racing. Okay, let's just buy that one. Some multitasking over here. So one more time here in a high-end game. I definitely do appreciate the bigger display here on the S4, but I can still feel that the FPS is not as high as it probably would have been on an iPhone. Let's load up here. It really feels slow. Could be also because I'm running the stock version of Android 4.3, latest version of Android, but still quite slow overall in how it feels. So definitely disappointing. Okay, so let's switch to iPhone 5. And I can definitely feel overall here that it feels like it's a higher FPS. But then of course you do have to struggle with a little bit of a smaller display. Which I definitely do believe. This display feels like it's at least 2 year, that it should be around 4.5 to 5 inch big now, this year of 2013. Especially if you're used to those bigger displays. See here if I can drive both cars at the same time. No, that's very hard. See here, maybe I can. Okay, that's very hard. But yeah, better performance here on the iPhone with iOS 7, the latest beta, which of course is not available for the general public. And that's about it. I can probably also try out another game here. Let's see here if we can fire up another game. This, of course, is not as graphical intense, but it's going to be interesting still to see how they do stack up in this little game. Skip this. Just do a quick little race here. So this is a pretty funny game. You should probably expect kind of the same performance over here on both. So you kind of steer like a random guy. No. This is a game that could take some time to get used to the controls, at least if you do ask me. But then it's pretty fun in like how unique it is in terms of the controls. But of course, stable FPS on all of those like not as heavy games in terms of graphics, especially these games when you see everything from the top. And you really gotta focus on the game to become good at this, to really try to aim where you want to go. So overall, pretty good performance over there. And let's see if we do have the same kind of performance here. There we go. Can definitely see a difference here in the display, of course, the AMOLED display here. So it feels like I'm a little bit closer to the car. But here definitely the bigger display comes in hand. And it feels like I'm like closer to the game. But just because this game doesn't have super many controls to take care of, that bigger display, sure, it's nice, but I think it will come more in hand in games like Modern Combat and such that has a lot of controls to fire a hand grenade and change weapon and all those things. And especially in those games, you definitely want to have the bigger display. So just quickly look here, hopefully you did enjoy this video. And yeah, in the comment section down below, haters gonna hate and and people are gonna say that your phone sucks. And thanks. Yeah, have a good day.